we're back to discuss The Disaster Artist, and if you saw our review, we all liked the film. Its biggest departure from the book is the ending. The ending of the book is the moment that the premiere starts. It's over. I won't spoil what happens at the end of the book or why that's a good place for it to end or any of that kind of stuff. But the way that the movie ends is the audience watches the movie and they show clips from it, and they end up laughing at the end of it, and Tommy Wiseau and Greg have a conversation, and they kind of come to Tommy kind of accepts that the movie is what it is and how people reacted to it. Obviously, he didn't come to that realization overnight. It also didn't become a cult film overnight. It almost didn't happen at all. The people that really started that process of it becoming a cult film saw it in its final weekend of its 2-week run that Tommy paid for. So, he wouldn't have even been there probably when those guys saw it, and those guys probably saw it in a theater of them. Like, there was probably nobody else even in the screen with them. The other thing the movie does to make that ending work is it makes Tommy and Greg have a fight while they're shooting the movie, that Greg walks out of the movie and then isn't Tommy's friend anymore until the end when they're at the premiere. That didn't happen. That's not real life. They stayed friends. Greg is instrumental in helping him finish the movie. He didn't take part in the editing, so there was a long period where Tommy was just off editing the movie and Greg had moved on to other things and wasn't sure it was ever going to come out. That sort of stuff. And the only other thing that I can remember, there are probably a half dozen things that were like, no, that's not quite what was in the book. The only other thing that I remember at the moment was that Tommy Wiseau introduced Greg Sestero to James Dean, not the other way around. So that whole segment is backwards.
That's a weird thing to switch.
It is, especially when it comes like in the same scene that Greg Sestero said that Home Alone is the movie that got him into acting, and then suddenly he knows about James Dean movies. It's like that doesn't match, that doesn't work. But Tommy, of course, has seen all of these old films and is a big fan of older films, and
because he was alive when they were being made.
Yeah, I think the first movie he saw in theaters was 101 Dalmatians, and that's only because in the Eastern Bloc and communist controlled areas, they only started allowing Disney movies in the late 50s or early 60s, and he couldn't afford to go to the earlier ones, so it's something like that. But as far as the movie goes, I mean, I was worried that Dave Franco would take me out of it because he's not anything like Greg Sestero, but it doesn't. He's just sort of your surrogate into the movie. It's about Tommy. It touches on their friendship, but not quite as deeply or as well as the book does. The book is much more about trying to explain how they actually are friends and why Greg would go through all of this with him. Right. And the things that Tommy does on the set are so much worse in the book than in what happens on screen.
I can imagine.
It's pretty amazing. So, but what else did you guys think about the movie now that we can get into spoilers?
Well, definitely that ending was like, yeah, there's no way he was happy. Because, I mean, I remember people talking about it and hearing about Tommy Wiseau just disavowing anything about it being cult. He just thought it was a popular movie. But I don't know, that was early on. Maybe it wasn't that early on, actually.
Yeah, but, I mean, the movie didn't really... It had a cult following, and the reason that there's a lot of Hollywood actors that you are familiar with in it is because that's kind of where that cult following started, was with actors like Paul Rudd and some other people really became early proponents of the film and went to the screenings and tried to get it, more well known. But it took about 5 years before it became
Right.
more of a mainstream thing, and then it really 2010 was kind of the peak year of all of that.
It's scene for scene recreations of everything is just kind of incredible here.
Yeah. It was cool that they included the ones that they didn't use at the end of the movie.
Absolutely, because I was like, how much are we going to get of that kind of thing, or how much of it's just going to all be behind the scenes? And now I honestly didn't expect to see anything fully produced as a scene for scene recreation. I expected only just like behind the scene, on scene set stuff, so it'd be set up like it. But I was surprised.
Yeah.
Actually having Tommy at the end here for that.
I should have mentioned that in the review section.
Yeah,
that
stick around.
you should stay for the post credit scene.
Mm-hmm.
The Tommy Wiseau is Nick Fury scene.
That's a good description. Is Johnny K. Johnny Depp.
Yeah. One of the things I really enjoyed about the movie was when you listen to the audiobook, obviously it's from Greg Sestero's point of view, and this movie shows you some scenes that I'm sure they got added in after talking to people that were involved in the movie, because Greg Sestero's not around to see them. Mm-hmm. Like the two the two screen script writers, one Seth Rogen, the other guy Paul Scheer. Them talking to themselves. Scenes like that, listening to what the female lead thought about certain scenes and how nobody was sure what the hell was going on in this movie.
They absolutely knew all of that because he really did film everything behind the scenes like they show in this movie. And so he was watching like dailies of what people were saying about him behind his back.
Well, I know, but I don't remember that being in the book.
Yeah, it is. It totally is.
It's just been a while.
It also, like, a lot of the stuff that goes down with the crew happened in front of Greg, because Greg was the line producer on the movie. So Greg was doing as much as Sandy was doing on the movie, and Sandy was essentially directing the movie because he was the script supervisor, and Tommy couldn't act and direct at the same time. So, like, Sandy kind of ran the movie until Sandy got a better offer, and Tommy kicked him out. And Sandy actually was not at the premiere because he wasn't invited. They kicked him off. They kicked him off the movie.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We get a long amount of James Franco in the sock for the sex scene.
It was a really long scene.
Just like the movie had a really long scene, 2 long scenes.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'm going to be able to erase some things from my head at all from that.
I love too the whole, like, everyone's trying to make their discomfort about how Juliet, the actress that plays Lisa, is feeling. And she's like, I'm fine, let's just do this. I'm fine, let's do this. And everybody else is like, are you sure we can't convince you to not do this at all? Because none of us want to see this. You're aiming a bit high.
Yeah.
Does he know where it is?
James Franco's butt might be worse than Tommy Wiseau's butt. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's.
Oh God, no, it's not.
It's like you just need to go back and rewatch
maybe there's
it.
just more high depth death when I'm watching it at the theater. I don't know.
You need to watch The Room again.
Oh no, I don't.
You haven't, like, you see Tommy's taint in The Room.
Everything.
We were spared that.
Kind
in
of.
this.
Oh man, that was everything that happened in this movie. It's so outrageous. You're like, this did not happen. This could not have happened.
Yeah, and if anything, everything that happened in the movie was way crazier and way worse than what they show in the movie. Like, they have to tone it down so that
Right.
the audience can follow and understand what's going on. Otherwise, it's just like, this is just silly for the sake of being silly.
I really like the countdown down in the bottom corner. Day 0 of 40. Day
Oof.
58 of 40.
Yeah.
Yeah, I not knowing from the actual book, I didn't know. I was like, okay, so they legitimately shot this over 40 days? And oh, no, I guess not.
I think it was 6 months that it took them to shoot it, and they were only supposed to do like 6 weeks.
Oh, wow.
And all the stuff they shot in San Francisco, which includes like the last scene they shot for the movie, which is the flower shop scene.
Mm-hmm.
They did with like the last guy on the crew that hadn't either walked off or been fired. They didn't, like, he was the director of photography for those scenes because there was no one left.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Seth Rogen's character was gone, Paul Scheer's character was gone. It was just like this one guy, and he was like a student and wanted to like get experience with these expensive cameras that Tommy had, and so he agreed to go to San Francisco with them and shoot the scenes. And even he was like ready to walk out on him.
They shot it both 35 and digital
Yes,
and composited it, or what?
they didn't use the digital for anything.
Oh, okay.
The digital's never been edited or used or anything like that. And they have hundreds and hundreds of hours of the filming of The Room. Like, that guy shot every day, all day.
Mm-hmm.
How they made it for making a featurette that, like, no one will probably ever edit together.
Right.
That would be so amazing, though.
And some,
I think we just watch what, like, the closest we'll ever see to that.
Probably.
and I mean, 35 film. Would be an expensive shoot just on product alone at that point.
Yeah. But he bought the cameras
Yeah, well-
and the lenses.
But the film alone. At that
No,
level,
I understand.
yeah.
That's how you spend $6 million and make The Room.
That's
Like, it didn't go to
Yep.
actors. It didn't go to.
that's yes.
It didn't go to writers.
But this video we're making proves the point of this movie. Yeah, it wasn't their vision, but good lord, we had so much fun watching that. And then even watching the movie that we just watched about the movie. It's just a blast. It has become more than anybody would have ever guessed, except for maybe Tommy.
Yeah.
So he did truly make the true American dream movie, I guess is what we're saying.
This is Tommy's world, man.
It's Tommy's world. It's a happy
world.
place. You want to live there? Yeah. You want to live Tommy's world?
Everyone
It's
loves
on this
each other.
pencil.
I have to go find a pencil like that now.
Thanks for watching. If you like the videos, please like the video, subscribe, check out all the written and video reviews at dalemaxfield.com. Thanks for watching.